So this is just a test of how far I can get with this. I've had real problems with my remote controls today. It's 12 minutes until the transit starts. So, and there is all I can say is it must be a Chinook. I can't even see it without my sunglasses on, baby. No, it's not a Chinook, it's just a very, very, very noisy helicopter. So I'm having problems with my wireless remote control, which means I'm on the wired unit, which I hate using. Again, I'm using a Meade LX90 ACF 10-inch with a homemade Beta solar filter, so I'm viewing the sun in white light. It is in colour because I'm using a Samsung NX1000 camera, and I'm using custom 3 setting, which gives it just a little bit of colour because I don't like it in black and white. That's just my own personal choice. It is glorious sunshine at the moment. ISO is 200 and it's 1/4000th speed on the lens. On the homemade Beta filter, I'm also using an aperture reducer, so actually only about 4 inches of light is getting through, not even that. I mean, it's a fraction of the amount of light that should be coming through. Oh, and my almost 8-month-old kitten, 7.5 months, is insisting on attacking things. So if you suddenly hear wows halfway through, that'll be her. So a little about the sunspots that are on the sun today. The one that you can definitely see, don't attack me please, kitten son, is AR 12542. It's interesting because it's kind of a bean shape and it has these little dots around it, which I'm hoping you can see on the image. And then underneath it, and I can't see it on the live view on my camera, but I'm sure you'd be able to see it, is AR 12543. And to the right of both of those is AR 12541. Kind of, if you take a triangle point from both of AR 12542 and 12543, make it an elongated triangle, and then there is another active region. Although, to be honest, on the latest SDO picture I can't really see it. On the far left hand limb there is some interesting faculae detail, which again I can't see on the live view. The reason why this image is smaller is because I wanted to have an attempt at getting the whole disc in the image, so I'm actually using a Meade 6.3 focal reducer. So what I'm going to do is, it's according to my clock on my phone, it's 12 minutes past 7. I'm so 7 minutes past 12 on Monday, the 9th of May 2016. I'm now just going to leave it. So if you hear me going quiet or the sound goes and the birds aren't tweeting on the image, it's because I've decided to mute it later on because there's been some other noise. So there is, my neighbours are obviously in the back garden, there's the odd plane going over, there's the odd lawnmower going around, there is the cat occasionally coming out from behind something, running across the lawn and then jumping on me, and me screaming in pain. Kittens, you love them. So I'm just going to let the camera run so I can start to see the transit. Oh, go away, clouds. It's just typical. So just so you know, the viewing actually isn't very good today. There is some high level cloud, some wispy cirrus, which will affect the view. Put my glasses on and adjust my position. So, 2 minutes till transit commencement. So I've got some fellow astronomers today which are also taking the day off work, or opening up their facilities to other people. I'm going to invite people of my astronomical society. They're welcome to join me from 5:30 this evening. There are Ian Papworth, who has his telescope set up. Again, it's an astronomical telescope with a filter on the front. I don't know if it's a Beta filter. I didn't look. No, he's got a proper cap on the end. But I can see he's set up with all of his equipment. Oh, he's got a little Neely pad. Maybe I should go get a Neely pad. And then my colleague Ricky, my friend Ricky Byrne, has a Coronado solar telescope, and he's taking it into work, so hopefully people at lunchtime will get to have a look. And then he's also going to set it up outside the front of his home this evening, and then hopefully people will come by and get an opportunity to view the Mercury Transit. So it's 12:12. We should start to see Mercury moving in from the left edge of the sun, and it is going to be just a teeny little dot. So you can see that sunspot there, and it's going to be smaller than that, I believe. And the clouds moving just perfect. It's not that windy, not down here. Now my telescope, for the most part, is going to stay relatively stable on the image of Mercury, and that's because actually I have it technically tracking Mercury. I do a kind of a dummy alignment, pretend I'm lining it up with stars, and then I tell it to go look at Mercury, and then I manually do the final alignment with the sun, because obviously looking at the sun with an astronomical telescope is very dangerous, and you should never look at the sun without some form of, oh, go away clouds, official protection. I'm just going to adjust the ISO. I'm 2500 now. Right, there you are. I don't know if you can see it. I can definitely see it now. On the left hand side there is Mercury just coming into play. I'm just gonna, it's like a little dip on the edge. 1600. Can you, oh yes, just, there you go. On 2000th. And I'm 8 minutes 22 seconds 30 seconds mark. There you go. Mercury, that little dot. Let's see if I can take a picture with my phone. Gosh, it's amazingly small. One over 2500, and there you can see Mercury is very definitely in front of the sun. It's a little dot, and you can see it's smaller than that sunspot. So this is actually a very good indication of how big sunspots are. That is a huge sunspot. It's smaller than the ones that I like to look at. But it is, you know, compared to the size of Mercury, the planet, it's bigger. So that means it's huge. On 2000, now it's over flooding brightness. 3200. 1/4000th. One 2500. Ah, hello, cat. You may not come under here and attack the telescope in any way. Oh, of course you may. Go away. They're my glasses. No, you're hurting. Luna, off! So the clouds have moved in proper, which is why I'm adjusting the aperture speed, but of course I'm ducking out, looking at other things. I warned you I'd disappear, and then coming back to this and finding it's all blacked out or all overexposed. It's weird, but I know that we were going to have clouds today, but actually my biggest concern was the wind, because I have this little tent thing which I put over my telescope. I lay a blackout curtain over the telescope so that I can sit underneath it and view, and that was my biggest concern today. It was not actually the clouds, it was the wind, but there's virtually no wind down here. Clearly there's wind up there. Oh, look at that. That's 1/1000th. And I mean, look now, and you can definitely see that Mercury is traversing the disk. So my camera is limited in the fact that it only does 25-minute movies. So at the end of this 25 minutes, which is going to happen very shortly, I'm going to take this opportunity to take a few still shots and then transfer them to my phone so I can upload them straight away. And then go back and do another movie. Please stay clear. Not gonna happen. We can but wish. One 800th. So this is the second, and the clouds moving. The moment I start recording, excellent. Well, I'm going to take this opportunity of going to get a drink and possibly something to eat. So we're just moving up to the 24-minute mark on the third movie. I'm going to take a slightly elongated break for this one. Again, I'm going to do a few stills, and then I'm going to transfer the images to my phone if they're any good, and then I'm just going to whip out stuff and give my battery a quick blast. Maybe a good time to have clouds have really rolled in, so there'll be about a half-hour gap. It's 26 minutes past 1, so we're just over an hour into the transit. So it's 9 minutes past 2 in the afternoon. We're just coming up to 2 hours of the transit now, which started at 12 minutes past 12. So we've got about another 5.5 hours to go. I've just had a break, did some processing of some images on my computer, and just gave my camera battery and my phone battery a blast. Just give them a quick top up. The battery pack that I'm using on the telescope seems to be working just fine. Gave it a full charge at the weekend and it's showing 5 lights full charge. Thank you, Ricky Byrne, for making that for me out of a motorcycle battery, which is just fine. Motorcycle batteries is something I have quite a few of. Clouds are in and out. The wind's picked up a little bit, so it's going to be a little bit more shaky moving forward. As you can see, that dot of Mercury is getting close to the sunspot group of AR 12542. I'm just going to press the wrong button, which wasn't very helpful. So now I'm just going to stop this and realign. So I've realigned it because I pressed the wrong button on my telescope and it wouldn't attract. Starting the 25 minutes again. So the time is 17 minutes past 2 in the afternoon. We've still got clouds. The weather forecast has changed. It was going to be cloudy this afternoon, now it's going to be cloudy with sun. So if it stays like this, then I'm perfectly happy with that. You can see the sunspot group AR 12542 sitting middle of the upper middle sun, and then you can see Mercury, the dot, which is centre line but to the left. So that is the dot of Mercury. So I'm going to let this, like I say, I apologise in advance. I have neighbours in their gardens, obviously. I have a day off work, but they're either retired or stay-at-home mums, which is perfectly fine and how it should be. I really wish we could all afford to stay at home. That would be marvellous. I'd spend all day in the garden, dig solar astronomy. So just coming up to the end of this 25-minute session. If I leave it in, you may have heard banging. I decided while I was sitting here that the wind was getting up, and I thought, what can I have that will stop the wind from getting to my telescope? And then I remembered I had a windbreak in the shed, so I just bashed a windbreak in around the telescope. So there you are, we're coming up to the end of this 25-minute recording. Mercury is still moving across the sun. There's not really a lot more I can say. The wall-to-wall clouds that were originally predicted for this afternoon have become unpredicted, and so this, where we get intermittent periods of sunshine with cloud moving in, is how the rest of the day will appear. I've got to go out very shortly to go pick up my son from school, which will take me away for about an hour. So what I'm going to do when this comes to an end is refocus, take a few still shots of Mercury, and then set it up to record while I'm out. That's about it really.